Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
My name is Cecilia. I am 28 years old. The knife trembled in my hand as the room erupted in laughter. For a heartbeat, I couldn't move. The frosting from my graduation cake, my cake, slid slowly off the edge of the table and splattered on the floor like a fallen crown. And then came the voice that burned into my memory. "Eat it off the ground, Aunt Cecilia," Capper sneered, his 12-year-old face twisted with arrogance. The laughter that followed sliced through me like broken glass. My mother's laugh was the loudest, her head tilted back as if it were the funniest thing she'd ever heard. Lauren, my sister, smirked, one hand resting proudly on her son's shoulder as if she were admiring her own handiwork. I stared at the cake on the floor, white frosting now stained with dirt, and felt something inside me crumble. I had imagined this day so differently. I thought they'd be proud. I thought maybe, just maybe, finishing my degree at 28 would earn me a moment of warmth from the family I'd supported for years. Instead, they laughed. "Capper," I said quietly, forcing my voice not to shake. "You shouldn't." "Oh, lighten up," Lauren interrupted, rolling her eyes. "He's just playing." "Playing?" I echoed. My hand tightened around the knife. "That was a celebration cake, Lauren, for me." "Oh, come on, Cease," my mother chimed in. "You've always been too sensitive." Something in her tone, mocking, dismissive, made the air in my lungs freeze. For years I believed that every cruel remark was just her way of loving differently, but as their laughter echoed again, something snapped quietly inside me. I set the knife down, its metallic clink slicing through the noise. "Enjoy the rest of the party," I said, my voice steady but hollow. "I think I've had enough celebration for one day." No one stopped me as I walked out the door. The last thing I heard before the heavy silence of my car was Lauren's laugh, sharp, victorious, like she'd just won something I didn't know we were fighting for. And as I drove away, tears blurred the highway lights, each one a mirror of the truth I'd refused to see. In my family's eyes, I was never meant to be celebrated. I was meant to serve. But tonight, their laughter had finally freed me, though it broke my heart to realize it. The rain began halfway down the highway, soft at first, then heavy enough to blur the world into streaks of gray. My windshield wipers fought uselessly as I gripped the steering wheel tighter, my reflection flickering in the glass, wet, hollow-eyed, and silent. I had been driving for hours, but I wasn't running from them anymore. I was running toward myself. Every mile replayed memories I didn't want. Co-signing my parents' house loan because they needed a responsible daughter. Signing papers for Lauren's SUV because it would only be temporary. Every promise had been wrapped in love, and every one had turned into a chain. Lightning split the sky, and I whispered to the storm, was it ever love or just convenience? At a red light, my phone buzzed. A message from Mom. "Cecilia, your behavior tonight was disgusting. Don't bother coming back. Lauren and I agree, it's better if you stay away for good." The words blurred as tears pooled in my eyes. My chest ached, not from loss but from release. For years I had begged for their approval. Now I realized it had been a leash I'd willingly worn. I pulled over near an empty gas station, rain drumming against the roof like a cruel applause. My hands shook as I typed my reply. "Understood. Take care of yourselves. No more explanations. No more pleas." I turned off my phone and stared out into the storm, feeling a strange calm settle over me. When I finally started the car again, I wasn't just leaving that night behind. I was leaving behind the version of me that tolerated humiliation for love. The road stretched endlessly before me, wet and gleaming under the headlights, like a clean slate. And for the first time, I whispered through my tears, "I'm free." The next morning dawned gray but clear, the kind of fragile light that follows a storm. My hands trembled as I held a folder thick with documents, proof that I had co-signed, supported, and sacrificed, proof that I was done. The Boston Bank lobby smelled faintly of polished marble and lemon cleaner. Behind the counter sat a man in a crisp navy suit with silver-rimmed glasses. The nameplate read Mr. Butcher. His voice was formal but kind. "Miss Reed, you're here to discuss your release from the co-signed loans, correct?" "Yes," I replied, steadying my tone. "I've brought everything you might need." He reviewed the papers in silence, his pen tapping softly against the desk. Every second stretched like a lifetime. My heart thudded so loudly I was sure he could hear it. Finally, he looked up. You have no ownership interest in either property. That means we can proceed with your release, pending your signature. Those words, your release, felt like sunlight breaking through clouds. He slid the forms toward me. My hand hesitated over the pen. For a moment, I saw flashes of the past. My mother's laugh echoing as Copper humiliated me. Lauren's smug smile as I signed her SUV papers, the countless nights I skipped dinner to make sure the mortgage was paid. I took a deep breath and signed. Once, twice, 3 times. Each stroke felt like cutting invisible strings from my wrists. When the final document was sealed, Mr. Butcher gave a small smile. You're officially free of obligation, Miss Reed. Free. The word filled my chest until it hurt. I nodded, whispering, thank you, though tears blurred the pages before me. As I stepped out of the bank, cold wind brushed my cheeks. I lifted my face to it, breathing deeply. For the first time in years, the weight was gone. I had no family beside me. No one was waiting for me at home with another loan payment. Only the quiet satisfaction of reclaiming my life, signature by trembling signature. It happened the next morning. A sharp, urgent knock echoed through my Boston apartment, slicing through the stillness like a warning. I froze mid-sip of my coffee. Few people even knew where I lived. When I opened the door, my mother stood there, cheeks flushed, eyes blazing, with Lauren right behind her, arms crossed and lips curled in disgust. Rain clung to their coats, dripping onto my welcome mat as if the storm had followed them here. What did you do? My mother demanded, voice trembling with fury. The bank called us. You withdrew your support. How dare you? I did what I should have done years ago, I said quietly. Lauren shoved past her. You ruined everything. Who do you think paid that down payment? You wouldn't have anything without us. I laughed softly, a sound I barely recognized. Funny. I thought I was the one paying your car, your insurance, you're ungrateful. My mother cut in. After all we've done for you. Their words overlapped, growing louder, sharper. My hands shook, not with fear but with disbelief that even now, they saw me as their safety net, not their daughter. I reached for my phone and pressed record. You're trespassing, I said, my voice firm but calm. Leave now or I'll call the police. You wouldn't dare, Lauren hissed. But I already had. Within minutes, 2 officers arrived, their presence turning the chaos into silence. My mother's expression shifted from rage to shock as one officer asked them to leave the premises. When the door finally closed behind them, I slid down to the floor, tears spilling freely. Not from sadness, but from a bittersweet mix of grief and freedom. They had come to reclaim control, but I had found something stronger, peace. And for the first time, I didn't chase after their love. I let them walk away. Days passed in a strange stillness. No calls, no knocks, only silence, and it was beautiful. My mother and Lauren had turned to the internet, I soon learned, spreading twisted stories about me. That I'd stolen money, that I'd abandoned family in their time of need. I stared at the posts once, my hand hovering over the keyboard. For a fleeting second, I wanted to defend myself, to scream the truth. But instead, I opened a new email window, addressed not to them. I sent a letter to the email address of the company where I worked, as the facts invented by my family could reach my colleagues. Dear team, for transparency, my financial ties to my family have been formally terminated. Any claims suggesting otherwise are false. Thank you for your understanding and discretion. Cecilia Reed. I hit send, exhaled, and closed my laptop. No public spectacle, no revenge. Just truth, quiet and precise. That evening, I stood by my apartment window, the city glowing beneath me. The same streets that once made me feel invisible now pulsed with promise. I thought of the cake on the floor, my mother's laughter, the pen strokes that freed me. Was it worth it? I whispered to the empty room. My own reflection answered softly, yes. Outside, a breeze caught the edge of my curtain, fluttering it like a white flag of peace. I wasn't just letting go of them, I was reclaiming myself. And in that silence, I finally understood. Sometimes the most powerful revenge is a life lived quietly, truthfully, and free.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.